This is our 7th video on Reconstruction, and it is called Simply and Sadly, The Failure of Reconstruction. So Ulysses Grant comes into the presidency, and he's a great general in the Civil War, what a big hero. Turns out he's just a terrible president. He's just really ineffective as a politician, no matter how good a general he was, and he has this extraordinarily corrupt administration. Everybody is just grabbing what they can get, and he doesn't really do anything about it. The economy's tanking in the North, and he's ultimately indifferent to the plight of the freedmen, and so he's not much better, if at all better, than Andrew Johnson. And it's just downhill from there. He's followed by Rutherford B. Hayes, who says if he's elected president, he will pull the troops out of the South. And the economy had gotten even worse in the North. A lot of people started complaining that all these freedmen are taking people's jobs, and people just wanted to be done with it. All that goodwill that was there in 1865. It just gradually wears out, and people just become selfish, as they often do during bad economic times. And Rutherford B. Hayes follows through with his promise, and he pulls the troops out of the South. When the troops leave the South, it's a catastrophe for the freedmen. Year by year, all the old attitudes towards blacks come back. The black codes come back as Jim Crow laws, and the Reconstruction experiment ends in catastrophe when black people are barely better off than they were under slavery in many cases. Without the troops there, the blacks are not allowed to vote through intimidation and poll taxes and all sorts of shenanigans. So once they can't vote, they're really powerless. They don't have land. Now they don't have the vote. They have no way of affecting the political situation, and it's just a downward disastrous spiral from there. And the same people with the same attitudes that were running things in 1859 start running things again, and it's a disaster. Here's some examples of Jim Crow laws. Again, they're different in different places. They're just designed to undermine the freedoms that black people had gotten after the Civil War. These laws just grow and get more pernicious from 1880 to the 1960s, and it's not until the Civil Rights Movement, which we'll cover in a few months, that a lot of these things get overturned. And guess what? You're going to have to send troops down there to enforce the laws. And it was the removal of the troops that let all hell break loose, and it's the return of the troops that solves the problem again. But it's 85 really bad years down there. And it's a paradox that these very policies designed to solidify power and to make life better for the white aristocracy, they don't work because nobody really wants to live down there under these oppressive conditions. And so big industry stays away. This sort of aristocratic, old school sensibility that doesn't want to spend money on other people, well, it leads to really bad schools. So you have an undereducated population. Factories don't want to move down there. Companies don't want to move down there. Immigrants don't want to move there because of the racial issues. And the South stagnates because of this. So it hurts everybody. the black people more than anyone, but the whole South suffers because of the injustice of their fundamental outlook on life. And it's, again, this attempt to sort of keep this sort of European feudalism in America, and it's just not going to work. Unfortunately, it takes almost a century longer to really put the nail in the coffin. So takeaways for this video, if you could explain why U.S. Grant's presidency was not more effective for Reconstruction than it might have been, explain how and why President Rutherford B. Hayes effectively ended Reconstruction, and describe how Jim Crow laws limited the freedom of freedmen in the South.